This is the WWE Smackdown May 16, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. Solo Sikoa, Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb make their entrance together. Sikoa gets on the mic and asks the crowd to help him welcome the man who helped keep the United States Championship in the family, Jeff Cobb. The next step is him getting into a qualifier for Money in the Bank, and they better get in where they fit in, because he's all gas. Fatu yanks the microphone out of Solo's hands and says he wants to keep it 100. Don't ever get it twisted. He told us he was bringing the US title to the family and he said he'd do it with him or without him. Sikoa cuts him off while he's doing the Julius Smokes machine gun tongue thing and says everybody knows what he means and Jacob has to understand he's doing all this out of love and to help him. Sikoa says remember when he used to say loud and proud that loved him every minute of the day. How was that? Jacob tells him he loves him, but Solo wants him to do it right and spins him around by his shoulder to demand it. Before the werewolf can respond, LA Knight's music hits and he does a hit and run from behind, leaving the erstwhile Bloodline discombobulated in his wake. B-Fab and Mia Yim are talking up one of them winning Money in the Bank, but Chelsea Green rolls up to say she's gonna win and her economic policy will lower interest rates for the secret herb ice. Alexa Bliss walks by and starts at Green, making her jump. Mia points out that she's in the match too and the herb ice is banned from ringside. Then we saw a Money in the Bank qualifying match between Alexa Bliss versus Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim, and the result of this match was Alexa Bliss won the match by pinfall with the Sister Abigail DDT on Chelsea Green, qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. The next match happened between DIY versus Fraxium, and the result of this match was Fraxium defeated DIY by pinfall with a Rana pin from Axiom on Johnny Gargano. Post-match, DIY attack Fraxium and Ciampa goes right back to tearing at Axiom's mask, but Motor City Machine Guns makes the save. Backstage, Rey Fenix is working out when Andrade El Idolo rolls up and Fenix thanks him for last week and says they did a great job, and Andrade says maybe they'll see each other at Money in the Bank. Rey says he had his WrestleMania moment and failed, but his next moment is Money in the Bank. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb roll up looking for LA Knight, but the luchadors have no answers for them. Back from the commercial, Street Profits roll up to compliment Fraxium on their big win and inform them that Nick Aldis has granted them a tag title match next week. They all shake hands about it and the Profits say they'll be 100% and hopefully Fraxium will be too. Profits leave and Nathan is excited about speed running the tag titles and all they have to do is beat the champs. Wade Barrett does a sit-down interview with R-Truth and Truth explains that John Cena has always been there for him, saying never give up when he wanted to quit, saying your time is now when he thought his time would never come. Hustle, loyalty, and respect aren't just words, they're a beacon of light, and if John Cena did it, so can you. Barrett says he sounds crazy and points out Cena repaid him for helping him win the match by fuming him through a table. Truth says John won the match by himself and the guy that put him through a table wasn't John Cena, because he would never do that. He doesn't want to fight John, but if he has to beat him back to his sense, then he'll do it. He already talked to Nick Aldis and it's set for Saturday night's main event. Back from the commercial, Damian Priest cuts a promo on Drew McIntyre, saying they'll sabotage each other until they destroy everything. He's banged up, frustrated, and pissed off at himself for getting stuck in the vortex of Drew's petty, vindictive, childish bullshit. At Saturday night's main event, he wants Drew to hurt real bad, to feel real pain, to bash his face in so bad that the hospital will need his dental records to identify him and he wants a steel cage match. Carmelo Hayes cuts the Miz off and says he has this. Aleister Black's name makes him sick and not taking his head off when he could was a big mistake. It's the playoffs now, and he's not stopping until he wins and he's the 10th wonder of the world, he's him. The next match happened between Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes, and the result of this match was Aleister Black won the match by disqualification when Miz attacked him from behind. Post-match, Miz with a full Nelson, but Black slips out and hits Black Mass. Carmelo lays Black out, off the top, and hits nothing but net finisher. Alexa Bliss is walking backstage when Byron Saxton rolls up to interview her and she says her goal is to be the first two-time women's Money in the Bank holder, but she gets distracted and walks off. We follow her to Charlotte Flair, whose jeans appear to have exploded and recombined themselves into a bustier. Alexa wants to help her, Flair says they're not friends, Bliss says when she first came to NXT Charlotte was decent to her and she hasn't forgotten. Flair says she doesn't remember that and then Julia comes out of Nick Aldis' office. Aldis follows and announces Julia as the newest member of the SmackDown roster, and now he's gonna talk to Charlotte. Flair says if Alexa wants to help she should stay out of her way, because she doesn't need her. Drew McIntyre makes his entrance and gets on the mic, and he says the only accurate statement Damian Priest made in that whole video was how much violence they've done to each other. The so-called Drew McIntyre vortex is the only reason anyone gives a damn about Priest. He's been trying to get rid of him for months and months, beat him again and again, and still Damian is in his business. It got to the point he was concerned Priest might want to wear his skin to a birthday party, but he realized it all comes down to jealousy. He genuinely believes Damian is willing to kill him because he was willing to chokeslam him off a 15-foot platform, putting his head into concrete. This has to end, and he'll see Priest inside of that cage. He'll make a guarantee, because when Drew McIntyre makes a guarantee it happens, only one man will walk out of the cage, the other will leave on a stretcher. Then we saw a Money in the Bank qualifying match between Jim Uso versus Rey Fenix versus Solo Sikoa, and the result of this match was Solo Sikoa won the match by pinfall with the Samoan spike on Rey Fenix, qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Post-match, LA Knight shows up and gets his licks in before standing on the announce desk, steel chair in hand to fend off the various Islanders. Then we saw a match between JC Mateo versus LA Knight, and the result of this match was JC Mateo defeated LA Knight by pinfall with Tour of the Islands. Angel Garza pleads to Santos Escobar that his cousin just needs space. Santos says he's worried about him listening to the wrong people, but he's willing to forgive what happened because he sees an opportunity to make a statement on the horizon, but he needs Garza to bring Carrillo home. He calls an invite to a sit-down dinner party on him, and Angel says he's gonna try his best but he can't promise, and Escobar tells him loyalty is the one thing he's always had from him and it'd be a shame to lose that over one selfish person. Back from the commercial, Shinsuke Nakamura cuts a promo calling both LA Knight and Aleister Black out and says he's going to beat both of them in a Money in the Bank qualifying match next week. Tiffany Stratton runs into Jade Cargill backstage and she says it doesn't matter who wins because she's winning her qualifier and winning Money in the Bank and cashing in to win same as Tiffany did. Stratton says for as long as she's champion, Jade will never be good enough to cash in on her. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. During the match, Naomi makes her entrance, chair in hand, she gets on the apron, but Jade Cargill comes to makes the odds even. Cargill ducks the chair and blasts her with a boot before throwing her over the barricade and chasing her off into the crowd. Tiffany takes control, hits prettiest moonsault ever, but Nia Jax kicked out. We saw Nia Jax shoves her out to the floor and clears the announce desk, then hits Samoan drop onto the desk, then back inside, hits Banzai drop, but Stratton gets a hand on the ropes. In the end, Nia Jax apoplectic, she decides she's just gonna walk out with the title, but referee Ryan Tran reminds her she can't win like that. Jax grabs a chair, Tiffany dropkicks it into her face while Tran is busy disposing of the belt, and the result of this match was Tiffany Stratton defeated Nia Jax by pinfall with prettiest moonsault ever, retaining the WWE Women's Championship. This is all about from this week's Friday Night Smackdown, how much you would rate this week's show. Tell me in the comments, do not forget to subscribe the channel for regular updates, and thanks for watching.